Good afternoon, everybody. So for the camera, for our live stream, I need to sit down. So don't think of me as being rude. So first of all, welcome to our show today. Thank you for coming. Who here has seen our Henry Mancini show before? Okay, a few people. That's great that you came back, and for everybody, it's your first time. Thanks for coming. So what I'm going to do before we play some music is just let you know a little bit about Henry's early life. And what's so great about this show today is that it's an example of the American dream. Henry Mancini was born in 1924 in Cleveland, Ohio, but he was raised in West Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. That's about 20 miles outside of Pittsburgh. Any Pittsburghers here today? I guess it's just me and my wife. Okay. Anyway, Henry's parents were both Italian immigrants. His father worked at the local steel mill. In 1935, his father took him to see the film The Crusaders. Anybody remember that movie? Okay, a few people. Crusaders. After seeing this film, Henry decided that what he wanted to do was write music for films. And he was just a young boy. And at the time, he was watching the movie, and he thought that there was a whole orchestra behind the screen. Anyway, he studied flute and piano and played in the local Sons of Italy band with his father. In 1942, he graduated from high school. He auditioned and was accepted into the Juilliard School of Music, where he attended for only a year before enlisting in the Army Air Corps. At that time, he met Glenn Miller, but did not get a spot in Glenn's band, but Glenn recommended him for the 28th Air Force Band. In 1946, he was released from active duty and moved back to New York. So now he's recently out of the military, he's back in New York, and instead of going back to school, he wants to just be a musician. So somebody let him know that Tex Beneke, who was leading the Glenn Miller Orchestra at the time, was looking for a piano player. So Henry quickly got in touch with Tex, did an audition for him, and got a spot with the Glenn Miller Orchestra. Now, what's important about this is that time, the Glenn Miller Orchestra traveled with a string section and also a vocal group. So two things. Henry was able to sit on that bandstand. They were playing mostly dances, so that's 4 hours a night. He could sit there and just take in all this music because up to that point, the arrangements would have been written by Bill Finnegan, Jerry Gray, Billy May, who ended up writing for Frank Sinatra. So he could absorb how all these great arrangers arranged. He could look at his music, and he could hear how the vocal group music was written, how they wrote for strings. And then he also began to compose and do arrangements for that group. So this was a chance for him to really learn how to write these arrangements. And you learn quickly if something works or not. Dave can tell you, if you pass out something great, everybody in the band is saying like, hey, great job. If you pass out a dud, they say, okay, pass it in, meaning you're done with it. Anyway, this is where we start our program. We want to do an original composition that Henry wrote for Tex Beneke, and this will give you an idea of what the band was playing at that time. This is called the DJ Jump. Thank you so much. That's Jeremy Frati playing the Tex Beneke part. So, another important thing about being with the Glenn Miller Orchestra, that's where Henry met what would end up being his wife. That's Jenny. And they actually, Jenny just passed away, I think, maybe a year ago. So after Henry's fiance, Jenny, left the tour, she moved back to LA. That's where she was from. I have to catch my breath here. In 1952, Henry was hired as a staff arranger for Universal Studios. And this is where he contributed to over 100 movies. In 1954, he was selected to be the arranger for the Glenn Miller Story. Anybody remember that movie? That's Jimmy Stewart, right? Jimmy Stewart? So this is where he received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Score. And during this time when he was composing for these movies, he was a staff employee, basically a contract arranger. So many of the actors would have been contracted actors, meaning that you got a weekly salary and you showed up to work and they said, okay, you're going to do this today, you're going to be in this movie, and that's just how it was. And it was great for them because they could really hone their craft. And it was great for Henry because he could write and he could be around other composers, arrangers, and learn a lot. So we like to do the love theme from this movie. Of course, for the Glenn Miller Story, most of that music would have been written already. So they were playing all the hits, but they needed a special love theme. And they didn't want to really give their staff arranger a shot at this. A lot of times they would go outside of the studio and get somebody to write a special song for the movie. But they gave Henry a chance, and he came up with a great tune. This is called Too Little Time. not sure. There we go. That's Clay Lukovich on the trombone. Let's hear it for him. In 1958, Universal Pictures broke up their operation, and Mancini was unemployed. He was able to retain his studio pass, which he could use to mingle informally, visit producers, eat in the cafeteria, and on one important occasion, visit the barber shop. So he was on the lot getting a haircut one day, and he ran into producer Blake Edwards. Anybody remember that name? Yeah, a lot of great stuff. Edwards asked him if he would be interested in composing the music for a new TV show called Peter Gunn. And at the time, Henry thought he was talking about a Western. This would be the start of a close relationship that lasted over 30 years and produced 26 films. Peter Gunn ran from 1958 to 1961, and Henry was able to take his original music and record a soundtrack, which he released, and that became a #1 album for 10 weeks. So out of the blue, you know, he's getting by with his contract job, but he's out of work, and he's able to do this, and all of a sudden has a #1 album. So this is the beginning of his big success. He won 2 Grammy Awards, one for Best Arrangement, another for Album of the Year. Mancini told Edwards that he would like to keep the publishing rights for his compositions, and Edwards agreed. Typically, the big movie production companies, they wanted that piece. It was their movie. They were hiring you to do something. They felt like it belonged to them. And Edwards didn't care. He was just there to make good TV shows and good movies. So this meant a lot of money for Henry. The soundtrack recording changed his life. Mancini is said to have had $5 in his bank account on the day he received his first royalty check in the amount of $32,000. That's a lot of money in 1958. In the TV show, there was a recurring setting at the jazz club that was named Mothers. So Henry had special music for those scenes, and this is an example of the West Coast cool jazz sound at the time. This is called Brothers Go to Mothers. There you go. Thank you so much. That was Joe Bridenstine on the trumpet. Clay Lukovich on the trombone. Mr. Greg Zabel on the bass. And you heard in the middle of that a little arrangement, kind of the thing with Bob Thornton on the piano and Steve Luciano on the guitar. Thank you. So there was also a recurring theme that involved Peter Gunn's girlfriend, Edie Hart, at the time. And Henry had to come up with the appropriate music for this. And he came up with a great composition. This is considered to be one of Mancini's first great melodies. So we'd like to play for you now, Dreamsville. That's David McKenzie on the alto saxophone.
Thank you.
Bob Thornton on the piano. Wasn't that beautiful? So you'll see throughout this program that Henry had a real gift for creating melodies, very memorable melodies. Shortly after Peter Gunn aired, Blake Edwards started a second TV show called Mr. Lucky. Anybody remember that one? Yeah. This show took place on Lucky's casino boat. Henry recorded, once again, the music from Mr. Lucky, which became a #2 hit on the charts and won 3 Grammy Awards and was nominated for 2 others. So things are really starting to look great for Henry. We would like to perform the theme song from that show. Our arrangement is based off of the Buddy Rich version, so you're going to hear some exciting things as well. We hope you enjoy Mr. Lucky. That's Greg Zabel on the bass. Let's hear it for him. Jeremy Frati on the tenor saxophone. Steve Luciano on the guitar. Thank you so much. Okay, in 1961, Blake Edwards directed the film Breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm sure you all remember that, which starred Audrey Hepburn and George Peppard. And of course, he asked Mancini to write the music. Henry won his first Oscar for Best Score and his second Oscar for Best Song. The soundtrack was a million seller and a #1 hit on the charts. We'd like to play the music that was used in the party scene in Miss Golightly's apartment. Anybody remember that? It's got a small New York apartment with way too many people to be in there. There's a cat running around, and it's a lively scene. So Henry needed to come up with the appropriate music once again, and he decided to write some Latin music, which was very popular at the time. And we'd like to play this for you. This is called Latin Go Lightly. Joe Bridenstine on the trumpet, Clay Lukovich on the trombone, Steve Luciano on the guitar. So as I said before, typically the studios would require a special song for the movie to be composed by a famous composer. However, Mancini, once again, was able to convince the studio to give him a shot at this next one. The lyric to this next song was written by the great Johnny Mercer, whose career had stalled in the mid-50s due to the popularity of rock and roll music. This song relaunched his career. In the film, Audrey Hepburn sings the song on the fire escape outside of her apartment. Mancini won an Academy Award for Best Song. He also won 2 Grammys for Record of the Year and Song of the Year. This song was slated to be cut from the film until Miss Hepburn intervened, basically saying, "Over my dead body." So, of course, I'm talking about Moon River, right? The big hit from Breakfast at Tiffany's. We're going to start this out. We're going to introduce our female vocalist, Amy Parnell. And she's going to do it the same way that Audrey did it in the movie, with just guitar. And then we're going to give you an example of how his music has been used with symphony orchestras, with pop groups, big bands. And we're going to play a little bit of Count Basie's version of Moon River. We hope you enjoy this.
Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend, my huckleberry friend. Moon River,
Joe Bridenstine on the trumpet. Bob Thornton on the piano. Amy Parnell on the vocal. And how about that beautiful guitar playing by Steve Luciano? Thank you so much. In 1962, Mancini was hired by director Stanley Donen to write the music for the film Charade, starring Audrey Hepburn once again and the great Cary Grant. Anybody remember that movie? Yeah. You could just make a list of the movies and TV shows that we talk about today, and you spend the next month watching these great films and TV shows. Mancini was nominated for Academy Award for Best Original Song. His recording reached number 15 on the adult contemporary charts, and the theme song is a sad, lonely Parisian waltz with lyrics once again by the great Johnny Mercer. We hope you enjoy Charade.
When we played our charade, we were like children posing, playing at games, acting out names, guessing the parts we played. Oh, what a hit we made. We came on next to closing, best on the bill, lovers until love left the masquerade. Fate seemed to pull the string I turned, and you were gone. While from the dark and wing the music box played on. Sad little serenade, song of my heart's composing. I hear it still, I always will, best on the bill, charade. Played on and on, sad little serenade, song of my heart's composing. I hear it still, I always will, best on the bill, charade.
That's Clay Lukovich on the trombone. Amy Parnell on the vocals. Thank you so much. The next Blake Edwards project was the 1962 film The Days of Wine and Roses, starring Lee Remick and Jack Lemmon. Anybody remember that one? So if you've never seen the film and you've only heard the song, you would think, boy, that's got to be just a really great, happy movie. And then you see it, it's about a couple's descent into alcoholism. So, but this film, the song is a great tune. Mancini composed the music and once again teamed up with the great Johnny Mercer to write the theme song. and they won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. He also won 3 Grammys for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Background Arrangement. Here is The Days of Wine and Roses.
The days of wine and roses laugh and run away like a child at play through a meadowland toward a closing door, a door marked nevermore that wasn't there before. The lonely night discloses just a passing breeze filled with memories of a golden smile that introduced me to the days of wine and roses and you. Child to play through a meadowland toward a closing door, a door marked nevermore that wasn't there before. The lonely night discloses just a passing breeze filled with memories of a golden smile that introduced me to the days of wine and roses, the days of wine and roses, the days of wine and roses and you.
That's Jeremy Fratti on the tenor saxophone. Once again for Amy Parnell. Thank you so much. So we've got one more here before we take a short intermission. In 1962, director Howard Hawks had tried with two other composers before ending up with Mancini to compose the music for the film Hatari, starring John Wayne. The piece of music we're going to play next comes from an optional scene where actress Elsa Martinelli leads three baby elephants down to the river for a bath. This scene reminded Mancini of an old Will Bradley boogie-woogie piece called Down the Road a Piece. Mancini said they were walking in an eight to the bar boogie rhythm. So he composed this tune to line up with that scene. Mancini's recording became a hit single. He won a Grammy for Best Instrumental Arrangement and was nominated for 3 others. We'd like to feature, where'd he go, Dave McKenzie. We got a special treat here. This is called The Baby Elephant Walk.
Can I have an E flat, please? Okay. 2, 1, 2, 3.
That's David McKenzie. Let's hear it for him. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short intermission. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
Apple Jazz recording artist Ronnie Lee.
I found out on my way to Holland Ellington, he don't live around here. He moved away one day, so they say, away from Harlem. I can hear those echoes clear. No, 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 you can't keep me away from where I was born. I was baptized by my daddy's horn. Oh, you can't keep me away from where I was born. I was baptized by the jazz man's horn. Oh, I found out on my way through Harlem. Langston Hughes, he don't live round here. He moved away one day, so they say, away from Harlem. Marvin Gaye used to live right over there. No, 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 you can't keep me away from where I was born. I was baptized by the sound of horn. No, you can't keep me away from where I was born. I was baptized by the sound of horn. Oh, Ellington, he don't live around here. He moved away one day, so they say, away from Harlem. I can hear those echoes stinging. Nah, 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 you can't keep me away from where I was born. I was baptized by my daddy's horn. No, you can't keep me away from where I was born. I was baptized by the sound of horn. Marvin Gaye, he used to play right over there. I sure could use some of those blues from Langston Hughes. Hey, there goes that A train. Hey, there goes that A train through Harlem. Hey, there goes that A train. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so while we're getting situated here, just a few things. First of all, we want to thank Melody and Chris for that's right. You know, it's, as you can imagine, it's not easy to start a performing arts center, and what they've done is really great because it's good for the community, it's good for musicians. We have a place where we can showcase our music, and you can't find a more intimate setting, right? The back row is the best seat anywhere else, right? So a couple upcoming shows. I can't plug everything, but a few things that are coming up. This Friday, if you enjoyed hearing that bass saxophone, you're not going to hear that kind of thing, but you're going to hear some incredible music from Dave McKenzie's group this Friday night, right here. Charlie Bertini has a quintet coming here on April 9th with a great singer, Fight Wren. And he's got a great group. He's got Chuck Archard and Bob Thornton and Eddie Metz. So you'll want to come and support that show. That's right. The Central Florida Jazz Society, we do our concert series here. It's once a month from September through May. And we actually have the president of the Central Florida Jazz Society here with us today. Let's hear it for Carla Hayes. And her husband, Gene, of course. Anyway, the Jazz Society, our mission and goal is to raise money for scholarships. And we're fortunate enough to do our scholarship contest right here at the Blue Bamboo, and that's on May 22nd. It's a Sunday, and it's a great event. We have a panel of judges. We have a professional rhythm section, and we get 10 finalists from local high school and college musicians, and it's a great event. We're able to give out scholarship money to help them with their studies. So it's a great thing. Our next concert, and it's free. That one is free, but you do need to make a reservation with Melody. Our next concert here is April 10th, and that's with trombonist Jeff Bush, and he's doing a lot of the music from the swing era. And finally, we've got our next big band show, which will be the full-size big band, the Orlando Jazz Orchestra, with trumpets, trombones, and saxes. That'll be June 5th, and I hope I don't regret this, but we're taking on some really challenging music. We're gonna do a tribute to Dizzy Gillespie. Yeah, so you can get your tickets from Melody. I haven't even told some of the guys yet. Hopefully Dave. Anyway, that's June 5th right here. So moving on with the show, one of Mancini's most recognizable compositions is the Pink Panther theme from the 1963 film directed by Blake Edwards, starring David Niven and Peter Sellers. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score. He won 3 Grammy Awards and was nominated for 2 others. There have been a total of 11 Pink Panther films and 1 animated cartoon series. The original saxophone solo on this piece was played by the great Plas Johnson. This theme was also a top 10 hit for Mancini. If you've been to, well, first of all, who's here today for the first time? Anybody? A few people. All right, thank you for coming. Those of you who have been here, typically on intermission or before the show, there are some great videos that are played on the screen there with a wide range of great music, but many times you'll hear the Pink Panther theme, and it's kind of made Jeremy Frati a celebrity. So we're going to play that for you today. Here's the Pink Panther theme.
No pressure, man.
That's Jeremy Frati on the saxophone. Okay, 1964, Henry writes the music for a film that starred Glenn Ford and Geraldine Page. This was originally titled The Out of Towners, but when producer Martin Manulis heard the theme song, he changed the title to Dear Heart. So imagine that. The music is so strong that you change the title of your film. That's pretty impressive. This was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Mancini's recording was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards. The lyrics were written by Jay Livingston and Ray Evans. This song has been recorded by many artists, including Frank Sinatra, Andy Williams, Bobby Darin, Jack Jones, you name it. We hope you enjoy Dear Heart. Let's welcome back to the bandstand Amy Parnell.
Dear heart, wish you were here to warm this night. My dear heart, seems like a year since you've been out of my sight. A single room, a table for one. It's a lonesome town, all right. But soon I'll kiss you hello at our front Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's Clay Lukovich on the trombone. Wasn't that beautiful? Amy Parnell on the vocal. In 1964, it was time for the second installment of the Pink Panther series, once again with Peter Sellers, starring as Inspector Jacques Clouseau. Gotta fix my tongue. This new theme song, once again, was composed by Henry Mancini. We'd like to play this for you. This is called A Shot in the Dark. Thank you so much. That's Jonathan Sestero on the Barry sax. (1965). Great movie was made. This is called The Great Race. Anybody remember that movie? Yeah, it's one of Dave's favorite movies. That's David McKenzie. This movie was directed once again by the great Blake Edwards. It starred Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, Natalie Wood, and Peter Falk. Henry's music was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song and nominated for a Grammy for Best Instrumental Performance. The lyrics for this song that we're going to do, the kind of the love theme from the movie, were composed by, once again, the great Johnny Mercer. And we'd like to bring Amy Parnell back to the bandstand to sing the sweetheart tree. Before she does that, sorry, I should have set this up. So in the movie, there's a classic pie fight. Anybody remember that? It just goes on forever, probably hundreds and hundreds of pies. It's really outrageous. So when they leave quickly from the scene, they stop along the way. I think they're near a river out in the country, and they're trying to get cleaned up. And this is when Natalie Wood realizes that she's falling in love with Tony Curtis. Of course, yeah, exactly. Good-looking guy. So this is the song from that scene. Let's welcome back to the bandstand Amy Parnell.
They say there's a tree in the forest, a tree that will give you a sign. Come along with me to the sweetheart tree. Come and carve your name next to mine. They say if you kiss the right sweetheart, the one you've been waiting for, big blossoms of white will burst into sight, and your love will be true evermore. They say if you kiss the right sweetheart, the one you've been waiting for, big blossoms of white will burst into sight, and your love will be true evermore.
David McKenzie on the saxophone. Amy Parnell on the vocal. Thank you so much. So, in addition to the film and TV music that Mancini recorded, he also recorded over 90 albums. 8 of these albums were certified gold. He had a 20-year recording contract with RCA Victor, resulting in 60 commercial record albums that made him a household name. Mancini was also a concert performer, conducting over 50 engagements per year, resulting in over 600 symphony performances during his lifetime. He was also nominated for 72 Grammy Awards and winning 20 of those. So we'd like to do something now that did not come from a movie, did not come from a TV show, but from one of his albums. He would put out albums of some original compositions, some arrangements of different things. So this comes from a 1963 album called Uniquely Mancini. We hope you enjoy. Cheers. David McKenzie on the saxophone. Jeremy Fratti on the saxophone. Cheers. We'd like to do something now from a 1967 film called Two for the Road. Anybody remember that one? That's right. Once again, Audrey Hepburn. And her co-star was the great Albert Finney. Anybody remember that name? He was in, what was the film with Julia Roberts? Aaron Brockovich. He was a lawyer. Anyway, this song, the theme song, Two for the Road, from this movie, Mancini considered this to be his favorite composition, the one that he was most proud of. He received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Original Score. We'd like to play for you now, Two for the Road. There you go. Bob Thornton on the keyboard. Wasn't that a beautiful song? We'd like to do a song that actually comes from the Pink Panther film from 1963. This, once again, is an example of Henry's love of Latin music. The lyrics are by Franco Migliacci, and Johnny Mercer later put together arrangement or lyrics in English for this song. In the film, this is performed by Fran Jeffries. Michael Bublé actually had a hit song with this in 2007. We'd like to bring Amy Parnell back to the bandstand for It Had Better Be Tonight.
Meglio stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, fa subito. If you're ever gonna kiss me, it had better be tonight. While the mandolins are playing and stars are bright. If you've anything to tell me, it had better be tonight. Or somebody else may tell me and whisper the words just right. Meglio stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, fa subito. If you're ever gonna hold me, well, it had better be tonight. Or somebody else may hold me and make me feel just right. If you've anything to tell me, it had better be tonight. Or somebody else may tell me and whisper the words just right. Meglio stasera, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, fa subito. If you've anything to tell me, well, it had better be tonight, or somebody else may tell me and whisper the words just right. Millions to settle, baby, go, go, go. Or as we natives say, for subito.
Me Parnell on the vocal.
And Greg Parnell on that awesome drum solo. Woo!
Thank you. Okay, I gotta catch my breath. So up until this point, obviously Henry Mancini has had a great career. He's respected by his peers. Fans love him. Every movie director out there wants to have him write for his movies. He's just on top of the world. But he did not have a #1 hit song at this point. He had hit records, all kinds of great record sales. So in 1969, finally he made something happen. This wasn't an original composition, however. It was composed by, who was it composed? Some Italian guy, that's right. Steve Luciano. So he was able to have a #1 hit on this song. This was the love theme from the movie Romeo and Juliet from 1968. It's called A Time for Us. And he was able to knock the Beatles, their song Get Back, off the charts and have a #1 hit with this. He also won a Grammy Award for Best Instrumental Arrangement and was nominated for 2 others. We hope you enjoy A Time for Us. I think I got the wrong mic for this show. So, we've come to the end of the show. Before we get into this, I want to thank everybody for coming. I say this over and over like a broken record. We spend a lot of time finding this music, putting it together, rehearsing so that we can present it to you in a respectful manner. But none of that means anything if we don't have an audience. So thank you all for coming. You made our day. Please continue to support the Blue Bamboo. They always have great music. It could be anything from jazz to blues to some country, some classical, theater, you name it. There's always something great going on here. So by supporting this venue, you're not only getting great entertainment, but you can feel good about supporting something that's not easy to make happen, right? Every time you buy a ticket, you feel like, even if I don't go, I'm buying a ticket and I'm supporting this cause. It really means a lot. You can feel good about buying a ticket for any event here. That's my soapbox for a minute. Another show I forgot to tell you about, it's actually next Saturday, I think. April 2nd, I believe, Q-Bop. If you like the music, the jazz music from the 50s, late 40s, 50s, early 60s, all this great music from Art Blakey, Kenny Dorham, Horace Silver, you name it, from Blue Note Records. This is a very exciting group with 3 horns and rhythm section. Joe plays in the group. Bob plays sometimes. Steve is actually going to play on this one, and I'll be there as well. It's a privilege for us. So maybe we'll see you here for that show. We'd like to close out this show with one of the big numbers, something that I didn't include earlier on. This is the theme from Peter Gunn. That's right. Can't do a show without that. This comes from that #1 album, which he won 2 Grammy Awards for. So we'd like to close out the show and thank you for coming here. This is Peter Gunn. Dave McKenzie, Jonathan Sestero on the saxophones. The whole band. Stand up, everyone. Amy Parnell on the vocals. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Have a great afternoon.